What had you done to get that necklace?
So it was about 12 years ago, actually, and I was in charge of Year 7. I had a Year 7 form tutor, and this girl had had a really hard time settling into secondary school. So I spent a lot of time with her and her family. I obviously didn't expect anything, but to get this from them, and also the mum was so happy that her daughter was then happy. So it was a lovely gift, but it was more like the sentiment behind it as well, that it had helped her settle in.
Were you I mean, which is great, but you would, I'm sure, turn around and say, that's my job and it's what I'm doing. Were you a little bit embarrassed about the value of that? Because that's an expensive gift to be given.
I wasn't really, because the family I knew had the money to do it, so I wasn't embarrassed. I was happy.
Yeah, and enjoy it.
Did it make you different, though? I suppose that what people may be concerned about is you give a Tiffany necklace, another family that is just as grateful, who doesn't have the money to buy a Tiffany necklace, can't give that. Would it in any way affect how you conducted yourself in regards to
No, of course not. I mean, you can't... You treat everybody on their merits, and you treat the child on their merits every day. You have to turn up as a teacher with a blank slate towards those children, because they're children, so they're going to behave differently. You can't say, oh, they gave me this, or they did that, or they did that. You have to just go by their merits on that day.
So from your perspective then, Sarah, I mean, that's a lovely gift to receive, and I'm sure you would have really enjoyed being given some lovely gifts, but you don't think that it's necessary for parents and children to buy gifts for the teacher?
No, not at all. I worked in very deprived areas, and so if I got a gift, I felt then guilty if a parent had bought me something, because I knew I was taking money away from that family. A lot of the time, for them children just to come to school and be there every day, actually, that was a blessing enough. And then I had the opposite side of it, where if then a child didn't then get a present for me, they would then feel guilty and come up to me and say, oh, I'm going to ask my mummy if I can get you something. And then that child is feeling guilt. They don't need that. A child of 5 doesn't need to feel guilty for not buying you something.
So do you think parents perhaps feel judged? Because you say you knew the family could afford it, but teachers don't always know the financial circumstances of families, you know. So people might look like they could afford things, but actually behind the scenes they're scrabbling around.
You don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
So do you feel in a way that it's a pressure that parents just feel like they're letting their children down and you down if they don't deliver?
I think there is so much pressure at this time of year anyway. You know, you've got to give money for this, then you've got to take in mince pies, buy them back again at the Christmas fair. And then that added pressure of them thinking, oh, what are we going to get the teacher? I've had friends that have had things like that bought for them, and they just feel absolutely guilty that they're, you know, and embarrassed.
So they can't necessarily enjoy the gesture and the gratitude.
And I think that some parents think that it's like a bit of, you know, one-upmanship, or, oh, that'll sort my child out.
A little bit of bribery.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the teacher would never, ever be bribed, but I think parents possibly think that that might be the case.
But I think that everybody's got their own choice. I think that the expectation should not be that you expect a present. But if somebody wants to buy you a present... I mean, as a secondary school teacher as well, often the children would spend their own money on buying you a present. And it doesn't need to be a Tiffany necklace. I mean, that is an extreme example. Something like a bottle of Prosecco or a candle, maybe not a diary. But chocolates, just to say that expression of gratitude for what you've done for them. And I think that giving gifts, we get more happiness from giving gifts than receiving gifts.
But I mean, in lots of professions, bonuses in Christmas are the norm.
No.
And just because you are carers and you do your job for the love, why shouldn't you get something out of it?
Well, no, because at the end of the day, if you want to say thank you, why is a card not enough? If a child wants to make you a card and says a lovely message in it, if a parent wants to say thank you to a teacher, if they write a note in there, I would keep that more than I would keep a diary. At the end of the day, you've got to think of your professional development as well, actually. If that parent was really grateful to you for setting their child in, surely a lovely letter that said that would look lovely in your professional development folder, if you wanted to go for another job.
I would think, personally, that it's about what the parent wants to do for you. As I said, you get more happiness from giving than receiving. So if you give them a present, brilliant. If I didn't get a present from a parent, I'd never judge them, I'd never judge the kids. I mean, when I was pregnant with my first daughter, the kids bought me baby grows and stuff for her. So it's, that was really special. And OK, they might have been from Asda for £2, but that still meant a lot.
What do you do with all this stuff? I can imagine teachers have shelf upon shelf of mugs in their kitchen.
Scented candles.
Well,
Yeah,
you
scented
can,
candles.
You leave them in the school in the school staff room.
Do you? And
then,
use them when you're there?
Yeah.
Or you could decide that you're going to give some of those away to charity or to other people.
But that's the
Things
point,
just
then,
get
isn't it? Though? But
re-gifted
hold on,
then,
but
yeah.
if that's the point, I mean, you're getting given stuff that actually, one, you don't want, two, you don't need, then you give away to somebody else, or you just leave it in the staff room. I mean, that tells you a lot about whether these gifts should be.
Yeah, that's it. It just proves, doesn't it, that actually it's a waste of time. And that also, there's then that point of I know a child that their parents forgot or didn't quite manage to give money for a school collection, and that child then was ostracised and wasn't allowed to sign the card. And I think that's just disgusting. I know that's the parents, I know that's nothing to do with the school, but it just becomes then too extreme.
But I think, I mean, with my kids, so my kids are very young, they're only 2 and 4, but they go to nursery, so I get their nursery teachers, like Amazon gift vouchers, other gift vouchers. Can I say brand names?
You can.
Okay, cool. Amazon or ASOS, or I get them vouchers, so then they can choose what to buy. So then, it's like when you buy for teenagers as well. You often give them vouchers rather than presents, unless you know them really, really well.
We're running a poll with our viewers on whether you believe it should be banned or not, having this school having banned it. And at the moment, 52% said no. Christmas gifts for teachers should not be banned. It's very close, though. It's a bit like a referendum, that. 48 saying yes, and lots of you sort of reflecting that. Jacqueline says, I dropped my grandson off at school yesterday. I was gobsmacked. It was literally parents flocking around teachers with an obscene amount of elaborate gifts. Absolutely ridiculous. So, yes, you should ban them. Helen's daughter's school says no gifts. They've banned gifts for many years now. They just want thanks in person, which I think is what you're saying as well. And then Kes says, I always buy a little gift. I don't feel pressurised doing it, and I enjoy giving it to the teacher on the day. Ben on Twitter, he's a school caretaker. I say, yes, you should buy gifts. Teachers,
caretaker.
Caretaker, really important
teachers
job
work
looking
so
after.
hard. I think they deserve a present or at least a card.
Well,
There you go.
here, I do think that, definitely. Ben Shephard told me to always get wine a few years
I did,
back.
yeah. Well, they just want booze.
I just want booze, so now
I don't
that's
think
it.
that would get re-gifted.
That won't
never
get
get
re-gifted.
re-gifted.
That was his thinking.
If that makes it out of the staff room, I'd be surprised. Thank you very much for joining us, Ruth and Sarah.